So I wanted to do a quick guide on the loot that spawns in Booster Loot 101 DayZ server for PC and PlayStation. Now the loot's going to be a little bit different when it comes to the PC and the console community, obviously because there's a couple of mods that are in the PC version, like the Pokemon Storage Box and the Backpack Camel Backpack, but it doesn't take away from the fact that loot does spawn in these locations. It just means that modded items have taken that specific loot point. So right now we are in the middle of nowhere, really. We are down here at this radio tower, basically as far southwest as you can go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport around the map, and I'm going to show you guys the amount of loot that spawns and what kind of loot spawns just from exploring. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come here to the city, the water city, or the flooded city, or whatever I call this one, flooded town maybe. And as you can see, there's raincoats, batteries, clothing items, tracksuits, base building accessories, a load of miscellaneous things, weapons, firefighter things, clothing, and that's south, okay? So that's southwest. So from here, we're going to go over to this town, which, it's Kamenka. So we're going to go into Kamenka. We're going to look at the loot here too. So obviously, ignore the fact that it says Pokemon cards and things. It just means that something has taken, a modded item has taken the place of where a vanilla item would usually spawn. So this is where and how many loot spots are in each town. So like something like this would spawn the specific seeds for console. And then we're just going to have a look around. Hatchets, Pepsis. Those shops always sucked anyway. I'm going to go here and get some more shotgun shells, pistol ammo. I'm going to go over to prison now. I'm just going to show you what the loot is in prison. Because prison loot isn't great. In all honesty, it's not the best. So, as you can see there, KA-74, canned bacon, pants, specific medical equipment. And then up here we've got tracer rounds for the Mosin. I don't believe the ship spawns loot, but I could be wrong. No, it doesn't. But this is considered coastal spawns, so dry sacks and dry bags and things will be spawning in. Then we go to the main prison building. We got bacon, SSGs, things like that. So the loot on prison isn't great. So we're going to teleport now over to probably Balota Airfield. Go and hit Balota Airfield and see exactly what's going on over here with the loot. So we've got the armor building, which spawns AR things like M4 bullets and AK bullets. And then we got medical things, soldier outfits, more utility equipment, more soldier outfits and pistol bullets and small arms like SGK bullets. So this is actually getting shot at right now from the AI that are spawning in on PC. So that's Balota. Balota is pretty decent for tier 1 loot. And then we're going to go over to Chernigorsk City, a town, however you look at this place. I believe Chernigorsk is a city. And then we're going to teleport on top of this roof here, considering this is vanilla. And as you can see, basically every building apart from the apartment complexes have loot proxies inside. They did say they were adding loot to those buildings, but they never did. So, as you can see, it's pretty loaded with things. We're going to switch to the opposite side of town. Every single building has a specific amount of loot proxies, and every single loot spot is filled with something, at least 1 to 2 items in each specific loot slot. So this is Chernigorsk Town. I'm going to go over to the industrial. And this is obviously going to spawn industrial things like construction lights and generators and things like that, nail boxes. More industrial things over here. We got an experimental capsule, which is the Pokemon egg, which are spawning on the floor in certain areas as well if nobody's found any yet. I'm going to go over to the shipping yard, and most of these containers can be opened as well and looked in, but the containers are pretty bare bones. Fast travel over here, we're going to find some more industrial things, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to go down to Electro. Now we're in Electro. Right, so from here, Electro is a mixture of coastal and industrial and police, and maybe a millie, but I think the millie was Cherno. I could be completely incorrect about that. But as you can see, a whole lot of things. If you know what you're looking for, if you know where to look, there's a whole lot of things that can spawn in there. Oh, somebody died over here recently. It was an AI that died over here recently. I'm going to take those Pokemon cards from my personal collection. Right, so we're going to move and we're going to go over to the Lone Castle base. And now these have got castle loot inside and Christmas lights and things like that. I'm going to move again. We'll go to Scalisti and we'll see what's spawning on Scalisti Island. So up here we're going to have town loot because it's a custom town, so it will spawn the loot that it's supposed to spawn inside, ropes, storage, and things like that. Then we go to the castle and that'll spawn castle loot like medieval armors and foods like sword there, great helm, sardines, sword again, rifle slings, blaze up on the top of the tower. Then you've got the little bunkers, or the little World War II bunkers that are going to come with military equipment. And we're going to fast travel from here and we're going to go inland and we're going to go to... We'll do Northwest Airfield. I'll show you what the military loot's looking like over here. So if we go to the custom buildings, which are these ones, these are all custom loot as well. ARs, tier 3 and up loot, M249 inside Northwest Airfield Tower for PC players, because it's tier 3 and up. Keep fast traveling around so we get the more loot spawns come in. And the way that the loot works when it comes to DayZ is a player needs to enter the vicinity for a certain amount of time. For me on PC, it's about 3 seconds for the loot to start spawning around me. But as soon as you enter its proximity, the loot will start to turn up. So like grenades are everywhere in Northwest Airfield, claymores everywhere in Northwest Airfield, tents, because the large tents are military tents. This will have firefighter stuff inside and military stuff because it's a military fire station. Then we go over to the bunkers, and the bunkers will have even more military equipment inside. The industrial will have industrial things inside, helmets, hatchets, things like that. More claymores spawning inside these sheds. We're going to go over to the tents, and we'll stand on this tent here. And this is going to spawn a bunch of military items. And the AI have decided they want to try to fight me, so that's great. So I'll go over here, up to the north of Northwest Airfield, and as you can see, there is so much loot here. It's actually disgusting how much loot spawns in this server. And then we're going to go up, and we're going to go to Kamenk's military base, which is there. Going to go to Kamenk's military, and like I said, if you know where you're looking for things, then there is items literally everywhere. Blazes, box sniper rifle ammo, bunch of military equipment inside. There's going to be military equipment all over Kamenk's school. Then we're going to go up to the north of Kamenk's, and we're going to look in the barrack buildings. And then we're going to look in the industrial barrack buildings. And we're going to fly a little bit over here. We're going to go to the actual industrial, where they've got a military bunker here, and that's going to have more military stuff inside. I'm going to go to Kamenk's town, and Kamenk's town is going to have industrial and town loot, so drinks, lots of barrels, lots of miscellaneous things like tents and spare car parts and things like that. And then we're going to finish it up by hitting Tissy ramps. And we're going to just quickly teleport over here. My teleport can finish. Okay, let him do his thing. So we got military loot up here. And more military loot up here. Looks like there's a reward box up here from another player that was recently around. We got barrels spawning in the industrial area, but we'll also have military industrial loot that spawns in. Landmines, a lot of landmines spawn here. More AI have just spawned over here. So this building's going to have more military. My AI are going to try fighting the zombies. Spawn down here some more loot registers around. So we got M1As, things like that. I'm going to turn the audio down a little bit more with my in-game earphones. Then we're going to go over to the tents, the military tents for Tissy, teleport here. And of course there is more tier 4 military loot in the tent area and then in the extended tent area. So yeah, I honestly don't see there being too little loot on Boosted Loot 101. I think that the loot is in a pretty good way. Apparently I've just killed a zombie while I was in this mode, but obviously that wasn't me. So I've just made some decent rubles on the PC server. But yeah, I think that the loot is actually pretty well for both PC and console. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think that there needs to be an increase in the loot when it comes to either of the servers. I think, if anything, there actually needs to be a downscaling of the loot in both servers. But hopefully this has helped with the current conspiracy going around that there isn't enough loot in these servers, and makes people realize exactly how much work went into them when there is a loot spawn or 2 or 3 loot spawns in the exact same proximity as everything else. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been DragonTVH. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.